Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Diplomacy Timing Window, where the rules are discussed and our opinions don't matter. My name is Hungry Hippos.
And I'm the Half-Heard.
So on today's episode, we're going to talk about what the tournament is going to look like going forward, because yesterday, Game 3 just finished, and so all 6 games are done. We know who the finalists are, and we'll go through that as well. We're going to do recaps of games 3, 4, 5, and 6, tell you who the finalists are, and also some of the prizes that we will be seeing for the game finalists. But first, let's get into game 3, right, Half-Heard?
That's right. And I guess also just before we get into it, I do want to say a big thank you to everyone who's participated in the tournament so far. You know, we obviously couldn't have done it without everyone, and it's really been exciting. Some really great games. I think we've had the pleasure of watching.
It has been actually a lot of fun getting this set up, watching it take a life of its own, and really seeing everyone come together as a community. It's been nice.
So for game 3, I guess we'll bring it up here. Here we go.
Yes.
You can see at least the end state of the maps and kind of the build, because these were all, remember, 3-player 14 VP build map. And we can see here we have winning game 3, Doc Colts on the Arboric. Really nice to see Arboric pulling through here. Pretty cool. Beating probably the favored Soul faction. And then we had Ubermind on Soul finishing at 11 VP, and Fingolfin on Sardak finishing with 11 VP, which maybe was a bit of an upset. Fingolfin had the first round bye, and is definitely probably a pretty competitive player in the Twilight Wars scene.
If I was to go by the community chatter, the Kaza v Fingolfin was supposed to be a thing. So I don't want to say that's an upset, but it was a surprise.
Yeah, but I was looking at the map here a bit. You see, Arboric actually had a pretty nice early game setup with some really nice systems around them, and a special attention drawn to both New Albion and Tarman being very close.
My goodness.
Yeah, it's an Arboric dream right there, because and he made full use of those skips, because when you look at the text, he's got Cruiser 2 upgrade and Letany 2 upgrade with no green tech.
No green text at all.
Which
done.
That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Well done.
And he has custodians, so was able to take Mechatol first for that VP. When you look at the stage 1 publics, you'll see that for classified document leaks, he had a secret objective of his elected, which no one else was able to score, and he was even able to score all 3 of his secrets. So again, just little things that kind of add up, I guess.
Yeah, and it looks like from the map that stayed put mostly after getting the custodian token. Got a little bit of action on Mirror, but for the most part, I see a Soul and Sardak.
Well, you got Sardak in Soul's area and Soul in Sardak's area, so obviously they were going at it, and I think Arboric was probably just able to stay under the radar enough to just pull it out at the end.
Yeah, that's well done. I'm looking forward to seeing what happens with Doc Holtz in the final. On to game 4.
On to game 4. Game 4. This one actually features a 3-player elimination, which is definitely not something you see every day. But let's go through it. We have on the Soul faction, and
okay.
he won the game. So congratulations,
And taking control of literally two-thirds of the galaxy.
Yeah, very impressive. We have Mr. TJ on the Jolnar, finished very close, 12 VP.
That is,
Well, almost had it, but not quite. And we had Michael Waller on the Yisrael, who was eliminated, finished with 4 VPs.
this is a classic example of a 3-player Twilight game needing 3 players. It is so inherently asymmetrical that having just a 1v1, it's not a good idea.
Yeah, and especially here, obviously, where Seoul just owns so much more of the galaxy, and it's apparent in things like, oh, that's hilarious. Does he never took control of Blackstar?
I'm just noticing
That's
this right here.
incredible. Wow. I
And
mean,
this
at
is
that
not
point,
like a shabby system either, right?
that is, yeah, that's quite hilarious.
Yes, but I mean, when you let one faction own the board, it's not only unfortunate for the player that gets kicked, but it's also unfortunate that the other player, in this case, Mr. TJ, and I don't want to say Mr. TJ did anything wrong or not, but letting that other player get owned by a single player so that they can take control of 2/3 of the board may have been an oversight.
Yeah, I would agree. I think there is some, I guess, level of that you kind of need the balance, like you said earlier, right? You need that balance to have the chance yourself, because obviously here, so with the state of the board the way it is, Seoul has over double the influence that Jolnar has, which means agendas are never, they're all going Seoul's way, and agendas can be game changing, as we know, right? And that's just one minor way how that can happen.
Yeah, effectively at this point in time, if there's another round, like Seoul would have exhausted all plastic.
Yeah, it's I wonder how much he's got in reinforcements. Really, it's like space dock production limits is where you're struggling. It's always interesting too, because obviously at this point there's only ever going to be 4 strategy cards active at any one time, so your options there become incredibly limited.
Oh yes, we start
No
to
tech,
see
no trade, even no
accumulation
politics, right? Like that's, I mean, I guess it doesn't matter too much if you don't have the influence to take any agendas.
Yes.
But it does matter in terms of getting first pick on strategy cards.
Yeah, I mean, especially if you need that Imperial, the other faction knows that they're just going to easily take it and get a pretty good selection on second.
I mean, the other thing to note is that, some, I guess, I mean, when you own that much of the galaxy, there's probably not too much worry you have with scoring objectives. You pretty much can probably score everything at that point.
Yes.
But maybe on Jolnar's side, maybe a little unfortunate that he just didn't have objectives that were maybe a little more geared towards his specialty, and what were go back to the stage 2s you had there?
Yes, so we have one tech objective there, but here another one.
Yeah, we had one. But
the 5 tech specialties, that's not easy to get.
No, but Seoul got it even without getting Lazar, so that tells you something.
This is very true. All right. Well, I mean,
one thing
fascinating.
which was pretty interesting, you don't see it, it's not obvious here, but you'll see it in the game log, is for Seoul to score the trade, that the 10 trade good 2-pointer, centralized galactic trade, that's the name. You know how he got that? It was pretty impressive. 9 industrial planets, and he played industrial initiative, gain 1 trade.
No.
Industrial planet you control.
Wow.
9.
This is, well,
that
yes,
is
here,
yeah.
there. Oh, even if he could even gotten laser and gotten all 10 of them.
Yeah, he didn't need 10 because he had 1 trade good in the bank, so 9 was enough. But you've never seen that card, so
that's a very OP action card right there at this point in time.
Yeah, very impressive.
That action card was basically worth 12 trade goods.
Incredible.
given that it caused the two VPs. No, so actually, this quick sidebar. I'm sorry, I'm going to take it this way.
Go for it.
I remember as you start to make everything worth a certain amount of trade goods, and action cards were 2 trade goods or whatever. A victory point can be worth 10 to 12 trade goods. So 2 victory points would be between 20 and 24 trade goods. So that card, though it gave him 8, was worth quite a bit more.
I don't know that
am I off on that calculation?
Yeah, I don't know that I'd value victory points at the level that you're valuing them at, right? I mean, a stage 1, for example, there is a 5 trade good stage 1 victory point. So, I mean, that one
That's
becomes
true.
pretty apples to apples at that stage. Maybe some of the others are not so clear cut, but I think.
But it's not easy to get 5 trade goods. It's more than
depending
just
on your faction, but yeah,
yes.
Yeah, definitely.
Anyway, sorry to digress like that.
I mean, 9 trade goods on Industrial Initiative. I don't know if I've ever seen anything of the like, so it's worth it.
It got them into the finals of the TI Wars tournament. Did. So something epic has got to come out of that. So
on to game 5.
The notes for the game. So game 5, we do not have.
That's right.
We do not have a map because it timed out. So I'm going to put this up.
Ye old pixel shop. Ye old pixel shop.
On Etsy.
On Etsy. There's no shameless plugs on this show.
No, but never there's actually more than
never will be
that, a reason for that, but we'll get to it.
We'll get to that soon. Yes. But yeah, no, appropriate. We can have this in the background and talk to this as we kind of talk to game 5. Game 5 did have the unfortunate end of not finishing completely. It was pretty clear cut, and all the players did agree that, you know, Nalu Cornet on the Nalu was ahead, and that, you know, they essentially, there was a concession and you know, no argument with having Cornet move on. So we had, as I said, Cornet on the Nalu, who I think when the game finished was at around 11 VP. Small Fry Hero on the SAR, who finished around 5 or 6 VP, and Inahawk Sinovinces on the Jolnar with 6 or 7 victory points, finishing it off there.
So the winner at 11 victory points was Cornet.
That's right.
It's interesting. I remember when I watched sports, and you know, it's the 4th quarter or the 3rd quarter or the 2nd period if you're watching hockey, and I might as well, I'm Canadian. And it's a 2nd period, and one of the teams is up 5, the other is down to 1 goal, and they don't even, most of the time they don't go out to the 3rd period because obviously 4 goals in 1 period is not possible. That happens all the time.
Yeah. To be fair, you do see a lot of sandbagging at that level. Once the game's clear cut like that, it can happen where they just, you know, they're out there and they're just kind of going through the motions because they get paid millions of dollars, so they can't, you know, just say I don't want to play anymore.
Fair. That is a fair assessment.
A little bit different here, right? It's
exactly the same. You got to take teams super seriously. We're professionals here.
Professional tournament.
No, I get it. It's a 3-player game. So I would have liked to have seen what the map looked like at that time, but either way, I'm still just as much respect for Cornet's win as any of the others.
Certainly, and the game, you know, definitely had its highlights for sure. You know, and I think most notably was SAR and Jolnar kind of going mano a mano pretty early on, which again probably may have resulted in Nalu's ability to just quietly, you know, below the radar take a commanding position. And I do remember how the board kind of looked. You know, Nalu had a pretty commanding force over Mechatol. They controlled their slice very easily, and probably a little more. You know, they're always going first with their 0 token, so always in the best position to win in the status phase.
Yes, if you allow Nalu to get to 11 points and own Mechatol and the rest of the board, and they have Neuroglaive, stopping them is not really going to be an option.
Yeah.
Because your fleet
They're
pool
strong.
will dwindle quickly.
Yeah. And I mean, yeah, there were some, I think, pretty important highlights early on where, SAR kind of went pretty SAR-bally from the get-go and went pretty hard into Jolnar's slice and did some pretty serious damage. But Jolnar got lucky, I think, with some of the dice, because there was a pretty big battle happening right next to the Jolnar home system, where some good luck on the rolls with PDS2 and a pretty clutch Shields holding, and they were able to stave off the SAR invasion, and SAR had to retreat. And I think we all know, like, if you're SAR and your SAR ball is going and your main space dock ball is retreating and not able to build on that early rounds, that's pretty devastating.
I'd have to agree with that. It's so to pull out a SAR intrusion and then a SAR retreat, that's impressive.
Yeah, and make sure to check out Ye Old Pixel Shop. That's Ye Old Pixel Shop.
At Etsy.
At Etsy.
We will get back to this. More plugging on the way. On to game 6.
On to game 6. So game 6, congratulations to Hutik on Lizix being the first to 14 VP. It was a pretty exciting game. We had Philomena on the SAR, finishing at 12 VP, and Derek now back to Turtle Power on the Jolnar.
It was Science
11
Fish
VP.
Power for a bit.
Was Science Fish. Was he Turtle Power in the first one? No, he was Human Power, because I think he was Soul in the
That's
in
correct.
the preliminary, if I remember correctly.
I'm seeing a distinct lack of SAR right now. There's very little going on SAR wise here.
Yeah, and again, it's funny, right? Because so much talk around this tournament about SAR picks, and you got to ban the SAR pick, and SAR being very strong, right? But we only had the one SAR win in the 3-player, even though they were picked, I think, in every game, or at least 5 of 6.
No, it was 1 of 4. They won one of the 4 games that they were in. Yes.
So, I mean, pretty average, right? Like, for how much hype they get. But yeah, I mean, that said, here, I think there were, there were some pretty tough calls. Like, I think there was a reactor meltdown, obviously, is a SAR nightmare.
I'm not happy about when that card is played and I'm playing SAR. But having said that, SAR should always have more than one space dock on the board. Otherwise, you're not playing SAR correctly.
Yeah. I mean, they have the one, it looks like, in the asteroid field. But I mean, that could have been there maybe later. But I think SAR just, maybe there was just some unfortunate timing on initiative, or just, obviously, like with the cards, there's the reactor meltdown. I think they had to retreat in one of the mid rounds there from, and again, when you're retreating your dock, that's always a nightmare for SAR, right?
Yeah.
Not being able to build up your SAR ball.
I'm seeing a small pattern emerge here. Meharzo was never taken, and L1 won, and then Sol never took. What was it? Scalag and
Lazar.
And they won. Perhaps owning all planets in this slice is overrated. What do you think?
If you have a strong slice, right? I mean, look at that L1 slice, right? Like, if that system is an empty space, for example, is he really suffering?
He also benefits from having 2 green tech skips, which for L1 probably not the route you're going to go down, but I mean, it's still nice to have a couple skips.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's just, when you got a strong slice, you got a strong slice. And I mean, you got that planet there to as if you need, but maybe, why take your back base when you're taking over from other people, right?
Yes.
If you're taking the planets away from others. So
Well, this game looked a little bit more interesting. It seems that Sol and Jolnar do not own 2/3 of the galaxy. So there's that. That's good.
yeah, I mean, it was pretty close in the end, right? Like you look at the scores, everyone 12, 11 victory points. I'm sure with a different card draw or something else, the game might go different. Who had, for example, okay, yeah, L1 had Imperial at the end. But
Yes.
actually they won with, I think, their how did the game end there?
Wait,
Is it
hold on. I just see
double
something now, and I
support?
did not see that earlier. I feel as though we've missed a huge thing in our note taking prior to this episode. For 2 supports, you guys.
That's incredible.
Derek, Philomena. This is not. No, just no. Okay, gosh. All right. I'm done with that.
Well, go to the
Yeah,
game
but
log
yes,
real quick. I'm just curious how it ended out, because oh no,
Uda
it did end
played
with
Imperial. So
Okay,
in the
gotcha.
game, it doesn't actually
Right,
resolve
till the
to
end.
gray
Yeah,
until you push
that's right.
pass. Yeah, but yes, again with the supports. Jeez, that's all I have to say. I'm done.
Yeah, and that there wraps up our semifinals. So again, thank
All
you to all
right.
the participants, and congratulations to all the victors. That rounds it out. We have so our 6 finalists now. We have Hutic from the game we just saw. We got Cornet. We have we have Doc Holtz. We have our boy Kazadoom. Very excited. And who am I missing? Who is the other? Bot from game 1.
Yes.
So congratulations.
This is gonna be a great 6-player game.
I'm really excited, right? Obviously, for them to make it this far means that they're pretty strong players. But they're all, it's all. I'm glad the way it turned out. It's all people as well. These are all people that are very active in the Twilight Wars community. So it's, I'm very happy to see them advancing. And it's going to be a lot of fun, I think.
Yeah. So the game, the way the final of the tournament will work is it will be a 10 victory point 6-player game. We will vote first on the maps, and the maps being the default maps that the TI Wars app comes with. They will all be available for voting. And then once the maps have been selected, we will do faction selection as we have been doing it. So anytime a faction is selected by 2 or more of the participants, that faction will be banned, and then it will those individuals will have to select from whatever is remaining until we have 6 unique factions.
That's right.
And go ahead.
Yeah, and just to round it out, we have representatives from, kind of all over the globe. We have kind of USD time zones. We have European time zones. We have Australian time zones all represented. So, because of that, we were talking about maybe doing live for the finals, but we decided we will go with async formats like we have been doing. Hopefully we can find an hour or 2 of common overlap and maybe get some live sessions with some live commentary from Hungry Hippos and myself.
I would very much like to criticize moves, and I'm really all about criticizing stupid moves. Having said that, I mean, most of these people are going to be way better than me, so it'll all be hypocrisy on my side.
And that's the way we like it.
Yeah. And so every single participant will get $20 Canadian, because everyone who's developed this app is in Canada. Let's deal with it. And the winner will get $100 Canadian. And why we're again on the ye old pixel shop at Etsy, Kazadoom's Instagram page, this pixel art, which he created, it's original art, will also be awarded to the winner of the 6-player game. Now,
Right.
it just occurred to me, what if Kaza wins?
No, we don't talk about that. Don't think it's fixed, man. No, it's a good question, and I think Kaza has made it quite clear that if he does win, his portions will go either as donations, or in the or towards. I know he wants to do kind of a league tournament, kind of following this tournament that we have right now. And,
That's right.
And so he was saying that it could, he would happily donate that portion of the prize to the future, it would carry on to the future tournament. So,
and for anyone else,
he's in it for the charity for sure.
Yeah, he's donating proceeds back to the server costs, which is fantastic. And anyone who wants to be in on Kaza's tournament, keep your eye out on the Discord channel for more information. Whenever is he gonna? Are we gonna do logistics for it during the time he's doing this tournament game, or is it gonna be after?
I mean, I'm not sure. I think it was gonna be after. I guess it depends how excited he gets. But I'm looking forward to it. I like the idea of like a league style.
Yes, I think even I would get involved in a league style.
Yeah, me too. So definitely looking forward to that. But looking forward to this final and to see who's going to be crowned our 2021-2022 tournament champion.
It's going to be fun. Well, I think we spent enough time stalling in this timing window, so let's hit the pass button and keep the game moving.